Welcome, and thank you for joining us to kick off Pivot Bio's 2023 sales season. My name is Lindsay. I'll be your host this evening from the Pivot Bio office in Ames, Iowa, just down the road from the Farm Progress Show. We're thrilled that you've joined us this evening as we share what's new and exciting at Pivot Bio. We have a fantastic lineup of speakers covering a variety of topics. First and foremost is the release of yet another game-changing product from Pivot Bio, Proven 40 on Seed. We'll speak with Vice President of Commercial Operations, Mark Reisinger, about Proven 40 on Seed and how it combines the benefits of Pivot's products with the convenience of our on-seed application. We'll also hear from CEO Karsten Temme about the global impact of delivering nitrogen on seed. Director of Commercial Agronomy, Patrick Yockey, will update us on the work Pivot Bio's field teams have done over the summer, connecting with growers and gathering data. Then Senior Agronomic Scientist Clayton Nevins will share some data from the field, proving that Pivot's products are a more dependable source of nitrogen to growers across the country. Later in the program, we'll hear from grower Kevin Gerlock, who's been a Pivot customer for 4 years, about his experience with our products. And farm broadcaster Max Armstrong will join us to share how Pivot Bio is shaping innovation in the agriculture industry. Finally, we'll give you a behind-the-scenes look at Pivot Bio Originals, a series of television shows that have taken over the airwaves across rural America. Our first guest is Vice President of Commercial Operations, Mark Reisinger. But before we speak with Mark, here's a short video about Pivot's mission to replace synthetic nitrogen fertilizer with better nitrogen.
Pivot Bio is changing the way we grow our food.
Every plant on this planet needs sun, water, and nitrogen.
Nitrogen is the fourth most abundant element in any living organism.
Everything the plant needs, everything the plant produces, contains nitrogen.
About 100 years ago, we had a growing population, we had the need to grow more food. We realized that by producing nitrogen fertilizer in gigantic centralized factories, we could then distribute it to all of these farms.
We've been able to feed a growing population simply because we are able to produce nitrogen and deliver it to crops.
But we're now starting to see a lot of the really detrimental effect on our environment.
It's a process entirely dependent on fossil fuels.
It consumes a huge quantity of carbon and releases that into the atmosphere just to make the nitrogen that you have in the fertilizer.
As a farmer, fertilizer can be one of the biggest headaches. Fertilizer can be both expensive and also inconsistent in performance. Only about half of the fertilizer that gets applied to a field ends up being fuel for a crop. The rest is lost to the environment. So we have these inherent inefficiencies that make it challenging for every farmer to generate enough food for the planet. And we can do better.
Pivot Bio is a nitrogen innovator because it's a new way for us to help farmers fertilize their crops reliably.
Pivot is leading the charge in being able to produce nitrogen on demand, to spoon feed it to the crop on a daily basis.
We are the pioneers of a nitrogen-producing microbe that can be delivered at scale to farmers that is providing an alternative to synthetic fertilizer.
We've built a disruptive product. It changes everything. It's in use across millions of acres today.
It's always there. It's always working. You can count on it.
I know that nitrogen is going to be there.
That's where there's a really neat play with farmers. You get to marry both the economics as a farmer and the environmental side of things.
The potential of this technology is limitless. What we're doing here can change agriculture as we know it.
Fertilizer has been the cutting-edge technology for the last 100 years. It's hit a limit. At Pivot, we've innovated the nitrogen that will power the next 100 years of agriculture.
I'm here with VP of Commercial Operations, Mark Reisinger. Mark, thank you so much for joining us.
Happy to be here. Thank you.
Tell us about the release of Proven 40 on Seed.
This is an exciting time for Pivot Bio. Proven 40 OS, or on seed, is an incredible opportunity for growers that don't have in-furrow capacity. Currently, we offer an in-furrow product, and that serves about 20 to 25% of the market. It's been a tremendous opportunity for both us and our customers because it delivers 40 pounds in furrow to the seed. And what we're going to do is apply that same technology that we had to apply previously with a liquid in furrow to the seed itself. It'll create efficiency and convenience for our growers.
With that in mind, let's take a quick look at a 30-second commercial from Pivot Bio showing the power of putting 40 pounds of nitrogen per acre on seed.
This Pro Box has enough seed to plant 125 acres of corn. Now, if you wanted to put 40 pounds of nitrogen on those acres, you'd need 1,200 gallons of anhydrous, or 1,500 gallons of UAN, or 5 tons of urea. What if you had the nitrogen you need already on seed? Pivot Bio is the first company to apply nitrogen on seed. The nitrogen you need, now on seed, from Pivot Bio.
Mark, tell me about this ad. What is it showing growers?
It's showing folks the difference this product's making. We're taking a tremendous amount of synthetic nitrogen out of the environment. Whether it's anhydrous ammonia or other forms of synthetic nitrogen, we're putting it on the seed. So the convenience is clearly evident to our growers. And I think that this is a pretty powerful message.
Thanks, Mark. Next, we'll watch a short video about the research and development work that went into Proven 40 on seed. But first, let's hear from Pivot Bio CEO and co-founder Carson Temme about the importance of on-seed to the future of the company.
Hi, I'm Carson Temme, the CEO and co-founder at Pivot. 11 years ago, Alvin Tamzier and I were finishing grad school thinking about what could come next. We had spent 5 years unraveling the mysteries of how microbes could breathe in nitrogen gas from the air and produce ammonia for the crop. We were left with a blueprint, and it was a blueprint to build a business, and that business has become Pivot today. I'm so excited about our next chapter at Pivot because it's a chance for us to take that idea that a plant can self-fertilize and put all of that nitrogen onto the seed. And when we think about what it means to have nitrogen on seed, a whole new world is possible. We can take the idea of fertilizer factories and eliminate the need to have that factory. We can eliminate the need to have rail cars and barges, ocean liners that transport fertilizer around the world. And it's because everything we can do is shrink that machinery into the microbe itself. A microbe that is delivered on seed. A microbe that's able to live and thrive in the roots of the plant because when it arrives in the soil on seed, it begins to live in symbiosis with the plant. It eats the sugars that the plant provides and it turns nitrogen gas in the air into ammonia. So for me, this is a big moment in time because we're moving from a past where we would think about managing fertility in terms of chemical fertilizer, purchasing tons of different forms of nitrogen and applying it to the soil, uncertain of what would happen next or how much would reach the plant. And now all of that changes because we're delivering nitrogen on seed, in the roots, spoon-fed to the plant each and every day.
So Pivot Bio is very passionate about developing solutions for agronomic challenges. One of the agronomic challenges that the grower faces is nitrogen management in corn. And through the development of these nitrogen fixing microbes, we're able to replace synthetic nitrogen and give a better source of nitrogen that's not susceptible to denitrification, leaching, or volatilization. This technology allows us to do two things for the customer. It helps us to provide a better nitrogen source for the customer, but also gives us the application process that's very common for our customers. Most corn in the United States is treated with a seed applied technology. And so this fits right in well with what the customer is used to, their common production practices, and also provides a better source of nitrogen.
So we look at the benefit to the customer. We're giving them that flexibility. Wherever that seed is going, they're going to be able to utilize it on that corn seed in varying fields and varying environments. Secondly, it gives them that stable form of nitrogen that's going to be available throughout the growing season.
We do a lot of in-house testing. We overtreat all sorts of different kind of commercial seeds just to make sure that our microbe is compatible with the various amounts of seeds that's on the market. We want to make sure that the microbe stays stable on seed from time of treatment to time of planting.
We work with the best seed applied equipment manufacturers in the industry. Specifically, we use a box-to-box applicator that allows us to consistently and accurately apply Proven 40 on seed as a viable nitrogen on seed product for our customers.
The future of nitrogen on seed is very exciting. We have great science and great technology that's very innovative to be able to solve a solution such as nitrogen management, delivering something that's very productive, environmentally safe, and really sustainable on the farm. The exciting part is that we can deliver that to more acres, to more crops, to more countries, and make it more accessible because it's convenient for the customer.
Joining me now is Director of Commercial Agronomy, Patrick Yockey. Patrick, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Tell us about the exciting developments with your commercial agronomy team.
Yes, we literally built a commercial agronomy team this past year. We know that there's a desire for more close support in the field. We heard the message from our reps and from customers, and we knew all along that as we grew and developed, the message around nitrogen that we deliver to customers is really critical, and that's best done one-on-one.
How has this larger team helped support reps and growers in the field?
We want to be a company that is very close to the grower. We're across the U.S. in the corn growing regions, so we have that close proximity, agronomists that are gaining experience across a local area and can bring that with them to the field to discuss the results that we're seeing with our product and the fact that we're demonstrating that we have nitrogen in the plant as expected, and that occurs through the growing season, and we're getting it in the plant as opposed to it being in the soil where it's subject to loss. So.
What has your commercial agronomy team actually seen out in the field this summer?
We were across the country looking at our product, looking at the results, and the consistency was phenomenal. So we saw performance really literally across our testing regions, and it was consistent. We could measure it in the field, and as importantly, with our sales reps and with customers, they could see it too when we were with them.
Thanks, Patrick. Next, we'll hear from Clayton Nevins with some product performance data, but first, here's a short video about the agronomy team.
I'm Seda Klatchko.
I'm Kyle Besgrove.
I'm Lauren Schwark.
I'm Alex Obermeyer, and I'm an agronomist based in Southwest Iowa.
Based in Southwest Minnesota.
Based in and covering Michigan.
Based in Southeast South Dakota.
Based in North Carolina.
I'll be one of the many agronomists
out on the road and in fields like yours,
measuring the performance of Pivot Bio products.
From root to tassel and from planting through harvest.
The entire agronomy team is excited to share
how Pivot Bio is delivering
a better source of nitrogen to your crop.
Today we saw some really good results. We had 8.3% more nitrogen in the plant and 8.1% more biomass.
We had really good results. We saw a 20% nitrogen advantage.
We cut 8 plants in the treated and the untreated, weighed the plants, did our chlorophyll tests. We showed about a 5.4% more nitrogen content.
Proven 40 is going to work here in central Iowa. We continue to see good results across the state.
We're seeing great results out here, great biomass results, great chlorophyll content results. So wins across the board for Proven 40.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for making Pivot Bio a part of your operation this year.
At Pivot Bio, we strive to be a trusted advisor on the farm when it comes to nitrogen. A key to doing that is measuring how much nitrogen is in the plant during the growing season. This year, we visited over 1,400 growers in 34 states and conducted in-season nitrogen testing that represents 1.3 million acres. We collected over 1.2 million data points, making this the largest single-season in-plant nitrogen study ever done. At 70% of locations, growers reduced their nitrogen up to 40 pounds an acre and applied Proven 40. They also had an untreated check strip, which was the grower's standard nitrogen practice. At each of these locations, we collected plants from the field to measure plant biomass and leaf chlorophyll concentration. These measurements were used to determine the in-plant nitrogen status between plants with Proven 40 and untreated plants. The results from across the country were incredible. The data illustrates that on average, we saw a 12% increase in biomass and a 13% increase in nitrogen uptake when replacing up to 40 pounds of synthetic nitrogen. We saw the exact same results when analyzing data from Pivot Bio Proven 40 on seed. Plants treated with Proven 40 on seed had the same in-plant nitrogen advantage as plants treated with Proven 40 in furrow. The big takeaway from this data is that Proven 40 is not only replacing synthetic nitrogen in the field, but it's actually delivering more nitrogen into the plant than the grower's standard nitrogen program. It also shows that our nitrogen is staying put, no matter the weather. It was a wet spring across many parts of the Corn Belt, and our products increase plant nitrogen levels across a variety of soil types, management practices, and growing conditions. We know that growers are most interested in data in their area, and we're working around the clock to provide you with the data from your area. This localized data will be available in the coming weeks, so please stay tuned. In summary, Proven 40 is putting more nitrogen into the plant, not in the soil, and that's the way we think nitrogen should be measured. We collected the same data for Pivot Bio return on several crops, including sorghum and millet. We saw a 48% increase in biomass and a 37% increase in plant nitrogen. We know that these crops are historically deficient when it comes to nitrogen, and it's great to see our products delivering more predictable, productive, and weatherproof nitrogen to a variety of crops. Because our products produce more biomass, we've seen great results when using Proven 40 on silage acres. While we're still collecting and analyzing silage data from the 2022 growing season, results from last year showed that plants with Proven 40 resulted in 1.9 more tons per acre. This shows that Proven 40 increased biomass while maintaining protein and digestible nutrient levels. These results from thousands of fields across the country illustrate that Proven 40 and Return are delivering more nitrogen into the plant. And that's how we think success should be measured when it comes to nitrogen on the farm. To see this in action, here's a short video of how Pivot Bio is making a difference on silage operations across the country.
Nitrogen is the most important nutrient for a corn crop.
Nitrogen's the fuel that makes everything possible. And we need rainfall and sunlight, obviously, but right behind that, nitrogen is almost equally as important.
There's a lot of positive things that happen when you have more nitrogen in the plant. For a silage farmer, it means more tonnage. The leaves are bigger, the stalks are bigger.
Silage is important in our area. We got a lot of big dairies right here in the area, and we also got some beef producers too that take a lot of silage.
And in western Kansas down into the Texas Panhandle, we're raising a lot of cattle, and I think at the end of the day we're still net importers of corn in Kansas. Most of our production in the state runs through a cow or through a steer.
One of the biggest challenges growers in this area experience is how many acres am I going to have to chop every given year? Depending upon the tonnage, that can vary wildly.
So the benefits of using Proven 40 in a silage situation, it really comes down to tonnage and quality tonnage. So the more tonnage you can produce per acre, the less acres they have to cut for silage.
If we can actually get that extra tonnage and run our equipment over less acres, that's a win for us. Pivot Bio Proven 40 has actually been working excellent for us. We've been seeing a lot of good benefits. We're seeing more biomass.
This year, replacing 35 pounds of nitrogen, we're still seeing a 7% increase in plant biomass. That's a huge opportunity and a great return on investment.
We were cutting the irrigated corn and my brother comes across the radio. What's the difference between this corn that I'm cutting right here and this stuff to my left? And I said, well, the stuff to the left is the what we treated with Pivot Bio, and he could tell the plant health difference from the combine when we were cutting. And that was the first point in time where we were sold and we knew it was something we were going to keep running in the future.
When we actually can have a product like Pivot Bio Proven 40 that we know is going to be working for us every day and it's going to be there, that's a big win to us, and it's a good selling point that we can sleep at night and we're comfortable knowing that it's out there working for us.
It's great to see how Pivot's products are making a difference on so many different crops and operations. Next, we'll hear from Kevin Gerlock, a grower from Central Iowa who's been a customer for 4 seasons, and how Pivot has made a positive impact on his operation.
Kevin Gerlock, a 3rd-generation farmer, born and raised here in Central Iowa. My grandfather came here in 1911 from West Virginia. And so he bought an 80 about 6 miles from here. Then in 1985, I started farming with him. And now we've grown to where my son, who is 28, he started farming with us. As we know, one of the main components for corn production is nitrogen fertilizer. My grandfather would probably be one of the first ones to use synthetic nitrogen. That worked for a long time, but maybe we need to look at adapting how we're using nitrogen. Even though nitrogen is our base foundation, it's a pain because Anhydrous ammonia form is very dangerous. Liquid form is very corrosive. It's also very time-consuming for us. One of the most frustrating aspects, you never know what you're going to get charged for the different forms of nitrogen. We've hit the peak this spring with the challenge of the highest nitrogen prices I've ever paid in my life. Knowing that we put so much effort and money into nitrogen that it doesn't always come to fruition for what you put in to what you get out. So that's very frustrating. Pivot Bio is a wonder to me. How you can take a microbe in the soil and turn it into nitrogen. That's crazy, and that's the first part of Pivot Bio. Then to know that once it's attached to the corn root, it's going to be there. And when the corn plant asks for nitrogen, it's giving it to it. I don't know how much better we're going to have it than that. So far, what we've seen on our farm, the results are very rewarding. It's reassuring knowing when I put it on the seed, it's there. Farming is a challenge, and I think one of the key aspects to going forward is being able to adapt whatever curveball's thrown at you. If you're not willing to adapt to new things, you're probably going to be left behind because you're not giving yourself the real potential to maximize your crop.
Next up is Max Armstrong, who is watched and heard by thousands of farmers, ranchers, and consumers across the U.S. He's here tonight to share with us his unique perspectives on the state of agriculture. Max, thanks for joining us.
Well, hello there. It's a privilege to be able to greet you folks at your meeting and to talk a little bit about our involvement with Pivot Bio in recent months. We have enjoyed it immensely. For one thing, I get to hear some of the feedback from the growers who use your products. And it's very interesting. The age range from about 25 to 65 or 75. The enthusiasm for Pivot Bio. I remember sitting in a pickup truck in Indiana not too many months ago, and the grower said, you know what, this stuff works. And this is a guy who's pretty, calls him as he sees him, I guess, is the way I would refer to him. He's kind of a hard sell, but in this particular instance, he was enthusiastic about Pivot Bio and the experience he's had. But I'm excited, too, about the next generation coming along. I mentioned 25. Those folks have it. The younger producers have it here, and they have it here. There's no lack of knowledge or enthusiasm in that generation coming forward. There's a bright future with those folks in agriculture. And we've had the privilege this summer in recent weeks of being a part of Farm Next, and it's been a wonderful experience. Not only taking a look at these inventions and seeing what's coming forward, but also the opportunity to visit with the inventors from Canada, from Europe, from here in the United States, and to see what drives them. And to interact with our panel, too. It's been a joy being a part of the Farm Next program. We look forward to what's ahead, what's next for us in agriculture, and what's next for you. It's an exciting time to be a part of this industry. We look forward to seeing you along the way and to continuing to tell the Pivot Bio story.
Thank you, Max. Now we'll go live to the Farm Progress Show, where Peter Majerick, Senior Manager of International Markets, will give us a behind-the-scenes look at Pivot Bio Originals, a series of television shows that have taken over the airwaves across rural America.
Welcome to the site of the Farm Progress Show near Boone, Iowa. It's been a great first day of the show, and there's been a lot of excitement about Pivot Bio Proven 40 on seed. The other thing that's caused quite a stir is this guy, the ultimate farm truck, which is the star of one of several TV shows under the banner of Pivot Bio Originals. Here's a lineup of all the Pivot Bio Originals from this year. Take a look.
We're going around talking to all the farmers in Iowa because we're trying to build the ultimate farm truck.
Farm Next will give you a glimpse of the exciting future agriculture has in store.
Dude! Yeah, in your cab.
There are over 2 million farmers in the United States. One of them is about to win some cash for their local FFA chapter.
And I don't know that the public knows what they want out of sustainability.
If they're asking us to plant non-GMO, our expenses are going to go up. Yields are going to go down. At that point, we're not sustainable.
All right, so when you think of Wisconsin, what do you think of? Aside for beer and cheese and people wearing cheese while drinking beer.
you have to have nitrogen.
It's really a microcosm of one of the biggest questions that we face. Can we feed the world and save the world?
As you can see, it's a fun mix of shows and types of content. All Pivot Bio originals will broadcast on RFD TV and on Pivot Bio's YouTube channel. You can also go to pivotbio.com/originals for more information. That's all from the Farm Progress Show. Keep an eye out for Pivot Bio originals on the airwaves and online. Good luck this season.
Thanks, Peter. I'm back with Mark Reisinger, who was one of the main advisors on the Ultimate Farm Truck. Such a fun concept. Where did the idea come from?
Growers and reps, even as folks that work for Pivot Bio, we all live in our trucks. That's sort of the culture, and it becomes our office. It's the equivalent of our workstation if we're trying to fix something in the field. And we thought, you know, how can we make that perfect truck? We all are throwing things in our truck all the time and trying to figure out what our truck needs, and we thought it would be an absolute blast to go out to our reps and our customers and say, if you were building a truck from scratch, what would you want? This is an amalgamation of everything that they offered, and it's a pretty awesome truck.
Let's go back to the sales kickoff. Any last words or thoughts?
This is a innovative product. There hasn't ever been anything introduced like this in agriculture before. Not only is it biological nitrogen, for the first time ever, Pivot Bio is delivering that nitrogen on seed. It is the most convenient form of nitrogen that's available to farmers ever. Great opportunity to get involved, great opportunity for our folks to get going right now.
Thank you so much, Mark.
Absolutely.
And thank you for spending time with us this evening to hear more about Pivot Bio, especially the launch of Proven 40 on seed. I want to remind you to go to pivotbio.com for more information about our products and to hear from our customers. Thanks again for joining us, and best of luck this season.